looking really good.
Well, thank you. I mean, I
can try to get that right. Turn it into pillow of salt. How long does she live with? And her diagnosis? You're going to go to
yes, I'm planning to this year. I skipped the last couple of years, so this year I want to.
Oh, that's great, Cheryl Hart. Gotcha.
Well,
I didn't realize.
Pharmacy.
It's Dottie Lou, man.
okay.
Isn't that crazy?
It is an honor to be on.
It's a real honor. It was a great book. Ain't Nobody's Business. Did you ever read his book, Ain't Nobody's Business?
I admit it, he was a great man. He influenced a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I probably got to do this. Yeah. Well, they arrested me, and it was one of those. Well, that's it. So I changed my state's law.
Wow. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
And it had to be done.
There is a legal defense in the state of Florida because of our case.
Washington State
and they
also,
fought
my
it.
case.
Yeah.
I can tell you about Cheryl, but you already know about Cheryl. I can tell you, yes, she got arrested just a couple blocks over there eating marijuana in a congressman's office so that people would understand that this works. I can tell you that she had actions here and there. You mostly know that because this is a memorial service. One of the things I wanted to share right off was something you don't know about Cheryl. You couldn't know because you weren't there. I know closure is a hard thing to grasp when somebody's gone that we really miss and that really had a purpose here. I was there in the hospital with Cheryl when she passed on, and we knew it was imminent. We thought it would be weeks. I had a very special couple hours with her, and I want to tell you, few people are blessed to have. Not just being alone, but you'll understand in a moment. Cheryl, we knew it was her time. She was in pain somewhat. It wasn't happy. It was her time, but it was going to be painful. Hospice was to take over, and we were to leave the hospital on Saturday morning. I'd spent all night Friday night up with Cheryl, and I was growing perplexed why she has to go through this. After all she went through for a lifetime, why couldn't her exit from this life one time something be smooth? Why was it painful? Why was it just going to be a long, drawn-out, waste-away process because we decided against pleading tooth? Early that morning, when I thought we had 2 weeks left, I felt a kind of inspiration that I've never felt before. But it was very familiar to me because I was angry. First it felt like my normal anger, and I realized we were alone in our hospital room for the first time in days because our roomie had shipped out and we didn't have a new one yet. So I think I felt alone enough about 6:30 that morning to almost hear myself say, "The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away." We've all heard that. So I said, "You've given, you've done that. Now it's time to take it. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. So you've done half of what you're supposed to do. Don't screw up on half of what you're known for. Take it now and impress me." God's honest truth is about that loud. And I was filled with a feeling right then that I didn't understand, a knowledge that, yes, we're alone. There is no more roommate. We have privacy. Isn't that nice? Yeah, that's nice. The nurses aren't coming in now. Isn't that nice? I said, yeah, that's nice. You can be alone. I realized everything was ready except her, and then I heard her breathing slowed a little bit. Now I knew it before anybody knew it. This was her time. They said 2 weeks. I realized the time was at hand. It wasn't a sorrowful moment. It wasn't a tearful moment. It was strangely a joyous moment, not for me. But in one respect, I was going to get what I needed, Cheryl to be at peace. And I knew the time was at hand. As her breathing slowed over the next hour or two, she got comfortable. I was allowed to be with her. And I was able to hug her and say, oh no, baby, we need you to go now. I'm going to be okay. I really will. She took a breath, and I knew it was her last. She breathed no more. But it wasn't over. When you stop breathing, as I see it and I experienced it, it's not over. It's part of a transition. Once again, lucky. Nothing hooked up. I got to be alone through that. I had my another 15 minutes. And when the hospital sounds took over the sounds that were in my head, whatever they were, whatever I was thinking, I realized now she's gone. Now she's not with us. Now she is better off. And it was a closure that was so instant. I was privileged to have the time with her, as most of you were that knew her, to say the things you knew she wouldn't last long. We all knew that. We had our time with Cheryl, and it was good time, it was productive time. But Cheryl was here as a teacher. She didn't stand up and teach and speak like this. She couldn't. She did what had to be done. She allowed me to help her do what had to be done. She taught by example. She taught that if she can come here in her condition, other people can come here. If she can go take on congressmen in their own offices, other people can. And other people would, but there's no money. People that are sick don't want to spend their money on being well. So we spent years and could never get the people that would have some money and the patients that would go together on any level, where it was always our Mingo, Claude, Jackie, and Gary, Cheryl and I that would go again and again. It was Cheryl's dream that we would do this. So for her to be a teacher, somebody has to have learned. Teaching doesn't imply, it states that somebody learned, otherwise you're just talking like me. I may not be teaching anything, but Cheryl did. The fact that we couldn't get together until she passed on is her legacy, that in her passing, she could accomplish what nobody else could and not what she could in her lifetime. Not what I could, not what anybody could. We're here. We're finally here. Patients, caregivers, and supporters ready to memorialize Cheryl and remember her and thank her for what she gave us, that we may experience it tomorrow. Tomorrow is when you all see that Cheryl does become the teacher that she was.
In the end, it became pain. Cheryl had pain. And I have to roll her back and forth. Now, I know on the left side, it's really going to hurt her, so I don't want to do it. Because it's going to hurt, but I have to do it. So the difference between her crying out in pain or saying, ooh, it hurt a little, a numb pain, it affects caregivers too.